Okay, so a lot of people know like a little bit about this because I made TikToks before, but I thought I would just share the whole story. This is the relationship between me and my mom and what happened. So basically, parents met in high school. My dad knocked my mom up when she was like 20, and then she got pregnant. And whenever they were pregnant with me, they got married. Whenever I was like 3 years old, they decided to get a divorce. It just wasn't working out. They were fighting all the time. And my dad was trying to work things out, scheduling therapy. And my mom didn't like ever want to go. So he just basically quit trying. After court, my dad had basically full custody of me, and my mom had visitation rights. Don't know like the exact details, but every once in a while I was supposed to go visit my mom. Now I basically never saw her because she would always say that she had food poisoning, she was sick, she had a headache, she didn't want to take care of me, whatever was happening. Whenever I did see her, I was basically taking care of myself. I was feeding myself, I was doing her dishes because she was either asleep on the couch or upstairs in her room, and I just watched movies and played with dolls and stuff by myself in my room. Fast forward to like the beginning of 6th grade. I'm at gymnastics practice. My mom's mom, so my grandma, brought me, and I see a text from my mom on there, and it's a picture of this guy. And I'm like, oh, who is that? And she was like, oh, your mom didn't tell you that she's a new boyfriend? And I was like, no. And she was like, oh, well, that's him. I didn't really say anything to my mom. I was just waiting for her. We talked about it a little bit. I didn't really care. It was whatever. She had so many boyfriends in the past, like it was just another one. It didn't matter. One day, like a few months later, I'm at my friend's house, and she sent me a picture of her dog sitting, and she had makeup on in the picture. I was just like, oh my gosh, you're wearing makeup. And she was like, yeah, I went to my friend's wedding. And I was like, oh, plot twist, your own wedding? And she was like, haha, what's a plot twist? But yeah, how'd you know I got married? And I was like, oh, what do you mean you got married? I was just joking, but okay. So basically she did get married without telling me. So after she tells me that she got married, I met this guy one time. He was fine, nothing special, didn't love him, but it's whatever. Months later, I am getting off the bus from school, and my dad is sitting at the front door, which never happens. I was literally so confused. So I walk in, and he's just like, hey, your mom's moving to Colorado. I just found out from a Facebook post. Do you want to move to Kansas City? Since we had been to Kansas City previously for gymnastics camp, and basically the law said that we didn't have to stay in the same county as her anymore as she was moving away. My mom moves to Colorado, and I moved to Kansas City. I go and visit her one year, and it was fine. I didn't really care for it. Her husband was like fine. It wasn't anything special. He brought me Starbucks, you know, but then he would like talk about like pictures he had seen with my friends, being like, why are you sticking your tongue out? Or saying that my shorts were too short. And I was like, you're not my dad, and my dad doesn't say that, so I don't understand like what the problem is. Now we're gonna fast forward to 8th grade. I'm living with my dad in Kansas City, and I get a call. My mom had been in a car accident, and that she is now in the hospital in the ICU in critical condition, a medically induced coma, and will be for months. I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, what's going on? I have no idea. I'm in a different state than her, so I'm so confused. What I was told from her husband is that one night she was going to go get ice cream at the gas station, her favorite like mochi ice cream, and he was asleep, and she got involved in a hit and run. Someone T-boned her and then ran. So in the morning, she was supposed to meet with her coworker to go get coffee, and she wasn't there. Obviously, she got in a car accident, is now in the hospital. Her coworker calls mom's husband and is like, hey, she's just not here. Do you know where she is? Because I was supposed to meet her. And he was like, no, I have no idea where she is. She was supposed to be with you this morning. And she was like, well, she's not at work either, so maybe we should kind of figure out where she is. Meanwhile, my aunt in New York is calling her, texting her, and she's not answering. So then she also calls my mom's husband and is like, hey, do you know where Alicia is? She's not answering. And he's like, no. And she was like, okay, well, where does she work? Where does she usually go? And he's like, I don't know where she works. I don't know where she goes ever. Like, I don't know what she's doing. And so that was like kind of a red flag from the start, being like, how do you not know where your own wife works? My aunt starts doing some digging, starts calling around some hospitals in Colorado. She calls one, and they were like, yes, someone that matches the description, but we don't have her name because she didn't have a phone or an ID on her whenever she was in the car. Somehow, my aunt from New York flies down and gets to my mom before her husband, who lives in Colorado, gets there. He visits her at the hospital, tells the doctor to pull the plug, and is like, if she's not gonna make it, why are we trying? Saying all of these things about her. Also, while she's not awake, I get a text from him one day, and it's a picture of this random girl, and I was just like, oh, who is that? And he deletes the picture and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't really think anything of it. I was literally so focused on everything else. I was just like, I don't know who to tell right now, so I'm just gonna keep this to myself. And we moved like to a couple more months later. She miraculously somehow wakes up, still has to go to therapy and everything, can learn how to walk again, how to talk. She can do everything. She is fine. When we literally thought that she was either going to die or couldn't walk, couldn't do anything again. So she is fine now. It was going to be an awful turnout for her. Whenever she goes home, her husband isn't really feeding her, is saying that she doesn't need that food, takes it from her, eats it. My grandma, who goes to see her, and she's like, this is really weird too. And when I'm talking to my grandma, she starts telling me that 2 days before she got in her accident, mom texted my other aunts and said, if I die, it is because my husband killed me. And then she got in the accident 2 days later. Kind of crazy. So when we find out that he completely wiped her phone, it's not working anymore, and we're so confused on what's going on. No one tells her what actually happened, and so she's talks to me, and she's going out for ice cream, whatever. She has no idea what happened. Whenever she's better, after a few months, I start to just kind of not want anything to do with them because they were stressing me out, finding out that he actually had a part in it and that no one was going to tell her, and I couldn't do it myself. I'm 13 years old. I'm not telling my mom that her husband tried to kill her, I can't do that. I basically cut contact with them and stopped talking to them. Now it's right before I start freshman year. My mom texts my dad and is like, hey, Riley's starting freshman year, we're gonna come see her. My dad is like, okay, we're just gonna let them come and it's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna be alone in a room with them, so I'm not gonna leave with them unless you really want to. And so it was like, this is perfect, whatever, fine. So there's 2 times in that whole day that my stepmom and my dad are not in the room with me. One of them's outside or doing laundry, going to the bathroom, something like that. And both of those times, my mom's husband starts to say, Kylie, I can't believe that you don't talk to your mom anymore after she just almost died. I can't believe about how much of a horrible daughter you are. You're a terrible person. I can't believe this. Stuff like that. Mom is just laughing, and it's oh my gosh, stop. Oh my gosh, So then he doesn't stop, whatever. After that, I stopped talking to them again. I'm over it. But then she starts sending me all of these text messages, basically being I did whatever I could was the best for you. You'll never understand until you have kids of your own, and even at that, you won't understand all the sacrifices I made for you and what I did for you. It's okay, starting to feel guilty a little bit. So I started talking to her a little bit more, and just every once in a while though. Fast forward to, and at the beginning of my junior year of high school, my mom moves back to New York because her husband is stationed in New York again rather than Colorado. Start to talk to her a little bit more, and then she tells me that they got a divorce. So I'm okay, we're in the clear. I don't have to deal with him anymore, whatever. I start to talk to her even more. I go and visit her when I go visit the rest of my family in New York. I stay with her for a few days. She's acting chill, whatever. All of that's fine. And one night, we're just talking, hanging out, and she was I've been talking to this guy. I'm oh, okay, yeah. And she was just yeah, he's really cute, really nice. And I see a picture of him, and I'm he looks really young. Come to find out, she's dating a 22-year-old. She's 40. So yeah, she's dating a 22-year-old. And I was just you know what? This is not lasting, and I'm just gonna let it happen. I don't have time or the effort to literally entertain her or feed into this anymore. So it's just great, good for you. I don't know what else to say anymore. So then after that, she starts to question my morals and stuff and what I've been doing. Sorry, but I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you're questioning me. And so at that point, I was just not talking to you again. And I'm about to graduate from high school. My dad is Kylie, you need to invite your mom to your graduation. Like, it just has to happen. Like, you have to just get over it and invite her. And I was like, I really don't want to, but fine, I'll invite her. So I invite her to my graduation party. She later then texts me and is like, hey, just letting you know, I just got a boob job. And I was like, oh, okay, great. She comes and sees me and we go to dinner, and she just is like, yeah, this thing with this guy, like, is going really well, and that gonna ask me to marry him. And I was just like, oh, okay, great. Cool, like, not actually thinking that this is going to happen. And then she also sends me a card. I was like, great, finally, like, some money, because my dad actually cut off the child support money that she was supposed to give me whenever she was in the hospital, because he didn't want that burden on her, and I was completely fine with it. And I hadn't expected her to give me any money or anything for the past 3 years since her accident, but I was also not getting like Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, really. It's just like, you know what, like, maybe something is actually going to come back for me. I don't know. At dinner, and I open up this card and it's empty, which is fine. Just like reading all the things that she wrote, and it's just like, you'll never understand like what I did for you, and I just hope that like one day you can. And it was more an apology rather than a like, congratulations, like, you're college, you know what I'm saying, like, you just graduated high school, rather than like, I'm so proud of you for what you have accomplished. She looks at me and says, also, just want to let you know that I will be paying you whenever it comes to September, because I'm helping my sister build a house right now. I didn't know that my aunt was building a house, know that she was like financing from her or something. So I was just like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And we start talking more, and she's like, also, I just wanted to let you know that I know that you're going to be like in a sorority and that you want to do that. So I will fully pay for your sorority dues whenever that happens. At my graduation party, she only said 3 words to me, and then she went back to her hotel and then flew home. And we're like kind of on okay terms after that. I was just like, yeah, I'm just basically waiting for this money to get paid to me. I just need something other than her word. So then after that, we like are kind of staying in touch. It was like, you get a boob job, you're not like anything for me financially. And then college comes around, and first semester goes by, I pay for all my sorority dues on my own, out of pocket, with money that I just made from work over the summer. I was not expecting to do that, so if I knew that my stuff wasn't getting paid for, I probably wouldn't have rushed, just because I didn't really understand the financial like responsibility that it would have been for me to pay on my own as an 18-year-old girl. So then like November pulls around, and I open Instagram one day and I see that my mom's getting married to this 22-year-old, and I was like, oh, how great. I had no idea that this was actually going to happen. I literally thought that she was being delusional, and I thought that this was a joke, but it literally wasn't. And don't get a text for Christmas, don't get anything sent to me. So then my birthday pulls around, and she starts texting me again, and is like, I want you to be in my wedding, also pay for your flight and stuff. I'm not paying for any of your sorority things or college. And my dad starts to get in a fight with her, and she's like, you should have saved the child support that I gave you 10 years ago, and that should have been her college fund. She shouldn't have joined a sorority. She didn't think that she was going to pay for it. It's her fault, basically. And I was just like, it's fine, whatever, there's nothing I can do about it now. So I literally have just given up. And she like invited me to be in her wedding, and I was just basically like, I'm not sure. I have school, I have a bunch of other like responsibilities going on. I don't know if I could take that much time to just come to New York and watch you get married to a 22-year-old. Like, I'm not really a fan of that anyways. And she was just like, well, his brother is on the football team for his college and he's gonna come. She was like, okay, well, here's what I'll do. I'll start giving you $25 a month to help with your college expenses. I just took it. I was just like, you know what? Fine. If you're gonna pay $25, you can pay me $25. That's okay. It only lasted for 1 month. She sent me like $50 for my birthday and then $25 in April, and then that was it. That was the last Venmo I've seen from her. Recently, she's been texting me about how she wants to rebuild our relationship. We need to have a sit-down conversation. I need to listen to her about what happened and how she feels. She will do the same to me or whatever. She really wants me to go to her wedding. Sorry for that being so long, but that's basically all the main things. Her wedding's in November, so stay tuned to see if I actually go or not. Get ready with me while I tell the story of how my boyfriend totaled my car. Now, I just want to start off by saying, like, I know it was an accident. Like, I know that he did not mean to. I'm not mad at him. I'm, like, low-key at the end of the day, like, I'm just glad that we're alive. But I just have to tell the story. So my boyfriend bought me tickets to see A$AP Rocky in New York City. He knows I've always wanted to go to New York. Last time I went, it did not go too well. You guys can check out my pinned video, but it just was a total disaster. So he wanted to, like, take me back, make it a good trip, and take me to see A$AP Rocky. Now, I have never, like, driven super long distances, but I drive for DoorDash, so I'll be driving for, like, 6 to 8 hours at a time sometimes. So, like, I know that I can drive for a while if I need to. And we live in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, so, like, that's a far drive. But, like, I obviously thought, like, I could make the trip no problem. So I worked a 13-hour shift, and then I started to drive, and then, like, every, like, 2 hours I would pull off and stop, and he would just, like, watch me while I slept. And he wasn't driving because he has gone in 2 accidents and literally got his license back the day we left. And at the end of the day, I know I'm responsible for the crash because I knew his driving history and I still let him drive. So, like, at the end of the day, like, I made the decision. But anyways, it was getting to the point where my system was not working as well as I thought, and I needed to, like, actually sleep for a little while so I would be able to, like, continue safely driving. So I was like, hey, will you take over driving for, like, an hour so I can sleep? Like, literally just an hour. I set my alarm and everything, and I was like, I swear to God, if I wake up dead, like, I'm gonna kill you. I got myself, like, so prepared. It was almost, like, weird how prepared I, like, got for the crash. Like, I made sure that my pillow was behind my head in a way that, like, it wasn't blocking my seatbelt or, like, the airbags. I made sure, like, my seatbelt was, like, laying on my chest the right way. Like, I feel like everything in me just, like, knew, like, my gut was telling me, and I just refused to listen. So, like, at the end of the day, it's my fault. Regardless, he starts driving, and about 15 minutes in, I fall asleep. I'm a really, really, really heavy sleeper, so, like, once I'm out, and I was exhausted. So I was just sleeping in the passenger seat, and I quite literally wake up in a creek. Like, a creek, upside down, flipped, like, glass everywhere, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? He fell asleep while driving, and he hit the guardrail, and we were driving in the fast lane, and we were also in Pennsylvania when this happened, by the way, so we were, like, 6.5 hours away from home. Forgot to add that part. But he hit the guardrail, and we were driving in the fast lane. He drug it for 50 feet, split it in half, and then it, like, broke off, and we went off the side of the road, and then we, like, my car just, like, flew for, like, 100 feet before it flipped forward, and when it flipped forward, it went up 10 feet, and then down 10 more feet. So, like, it was a total, like, 20-foot drop, and we landed upside down in a creek. Like, and the creek had water that was, like, it wasn't, like, a shallow, like, little creek. Like, the water was, like, 6 inches deep. So I was looking at Colin, and I was like, we need to get out, and I, like, realized that we're, like, upside down in a creek bed, and I take off my seatbelt. I had to bust out my window with my knee, and I ended up having to get stitches on my knee because of all the glass, but I busted out my passenger window with my knee, and then Colin's seatbelt was stuck. That's my boyfriend's name. So I had to unbuckle his seatbelt and then drag him out of my car. There was a lady who pulled off who had already seen the entire thing, who had already, like, called 911, and she just, like, immediately started asking us if we were okay. Like, we, like, looking at the crash, like, we didn't think we were okay. We were like, if we are okay, like, it's not going to be for long. Like, we're in some kind of shock. Like, we've got to be seriously hurt. Like, I was like, we need to be sitting down. Like, we shouldn't be moving right now. Like, it was serious. There was 2 truckers from the other side of the highway, and there was, like, a large, like, had to have been at least 200-foot stretch of, like, woods that was, like, splitting both highways in half. Please ignore the henna on my hands. And these truckers, they saw us go airborne and flip over, and they pulled off on the complete opposite side of the highway, walked through all of the woods to come check on me and my boyfriend, and he immediately was, like, letting us use his phone, letting us call our parents, like, just helping us out. It was just so awesome. The only thing I could say was just, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Like, I couldn't even cry because I was just looking at it, and I was like, the fact that we're alive, like, it's actually, like, just a miracle. Like, looking at this, I genuinely, like, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, the only answer to this is Jesus Christ himself. Like, he saved us. and we went back to see my car the other day and like get all my belongings out of it. Everything in my car was completely intact. Everything was perfectly fine. My suitcase was there, my Sony camera was perfectly untouched, had a little bit of water on it, but it still turned on, everything was fine. So, I don't know, I just think it's so wonderful that, like, I don't know, like, God just really shows up. My best friend and her boyfriend came with me and my boyfriend to go get the things out of my car at the tow yard, and her boyfriend found this like double-sided angel coin. I actually have it right here, but I looked it up and you literally can't even like find them in the US. Like, they don't make them as US currency. So if anyone knows like any coin people, please let me know, because I just find this to be like so cool. They're just like good luck coins. Now you can see it a little bit better, but yeah. I grew up in a very, very religious household, but over the past few years, I have been struggling with my faith just a little bit, and like just not having like the closest, like best relationship with God. And I feel like this just like really like proves to me that like he is real, he is there, he loves me, he cares about me, he has a plan and a purpose for my life, and he does for all of you too. So just wanted to let you all know that. And yes, my boyfriend will be replacing my car, so there's like nothing wrong there. I had to get stitches, a CT, and MRI in the hospital, and he had a broken collarbone. But like other than that, we were completely fine, like hardly a scratch on us. And I'm doing great today. I go back to work next Monday, so yeah. Another thing this has really helped me realize is that we really should be living our lives to the absolute fullest, because we never know when they're gonna end. Anyways, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys.
Okay, I'm gonna get my story straight, because this bitch does not have her story straight and thinks that she the shit, and she's just pissing me off. So I'm gonna get my story straight, the real story, because I have proof and videos and everything. Okay, so first of all, she's saying that she won. Personally, I don't think, well, I've told people that I won, but I don't think either one of us beat each other's ass. I got pulled off of her by my friend. My head was out of the car. She was hitting my legs. Let me just show you the video and explain. I just showed you the video and I didn't record. Okay. So here's the video. The girl yelling, "Avery, stop," is my best friend, Maylee. And then she's also yelling Nashton, and Nashton is my cousin. And him and his friend are also about to get into a fight behind the screen. But that's a different story. I don't really give a fuck to tell you about that one. The person saying, "Caden, you're grabbing the wrong person." Caden, one, is Naomi's said boyfriend. Well, they were boyfriend. They're not right now. But, they're talking at the time. He was grabbing and pulling on my pants, and then he got on top of me. You can see in the video, and he made me fall back into the seat and made me hit my nose, and that's when my nose started bleeding. Yes, my nose did start bleeding. That does not mean that's last one. Thank you. But personally, Kaden had no right to be even getting into the fight. My best friend was already there trying to get me off of her. You didn't have to jump in. But no shame, I guess. She made this TikTok. Oh. It says, found out I'm moving, but at least I got that fade with that bitch. I commented first, and I said, well, this is ugly. She commented, she deleted all of the other comments that she commented, so I cannot show you those. But I commented right there, well, this is ugly. Okay. Someone said, I'm not going to say a name. Just to clarify, a fade isn't your fingertips glazing off her face. Because she said that this was about another girl who she smacked, which, as they said, her fingertips glazed her face. And if I don't recall, that's all you did. I cannot see the comments that she put on here, but everybody, my friend, screen recorded and said that she said that this video is also about me. So then another person commented, so are we gonna leave the part out where you were scared to get out of the car or what? I'm not gonna show because that'll just skip away. who is. Then she replied to that and said, watch the video again, because dead-eye, you're deaf. My name is clearly Naomi, and whose name were they yelling? Avery, exactly. Okay, as I showed in the video, the only person she sat in the car, as you guys could see, she was sitting in the car. I said, I didn't show you the full video, but I showed you the video where I ran in. That's basically the whole video. The other part of the video is just me running around the car, telling them to get out or to let me in. And I said to Naomi's comment, I said the only person yelling my name was Maylee, and it was to get me off of you. I don't know what video you were watching or what you think happened in your head, but you are genuinely stupid as fuck. Somebody said something in here in one of the comments and said, y'all saying all this, but stay quiet in real life. Stop talking over the internet. Y'all got all these problems, stand on them like you claim you do. I have told Naomi multiple times that she has my location. She knows where I stay. She knows where I work. She knows where I live. Like, she knows when I'm out. She has my location. If she really wants that, she can come find me. I do not care to fight her. I really don't. That is taking time out of my day that I don't give a fuck about. You are moving. If you're actually moving like you said you are, stay out of drama in the town that you're leaving. Like, why are you causing so much drama in the town that you're leaving? I just don't get it. But that's also just Naomi. She tried to... And the reason the whole fight started was because I was hanging out with these people, and I took I took this guy's phone, then they took my phone. They had it for a fucking hour. I swear to you, an hour. And my curfew was 10:30. It was literally 10:45, 10:55, 10:25. And they had not given me my phone back. I didn't know where my phone was. It was this phone right here. I got a new one. But they took my phone. They wouldn't give it back. I was like begging them for my phone back. I was screaming, yelling, running around, chasing them. My cousin came over and was trying to help. My cousin and his friend came over. My cousin and a group of his friends actually came over and tried to help me. And, like, I didn't get my phone. Somebody said that it was in the car that Naomi was in. And I went over to the car. Like, I was not trying to be rude. I was trying to get my phone, which I didn't know I didn't know if it was in there or it wasn't. I didn't know where it was. Somebody said that it was in the car that she was in. I said, Naomi, can you unlock the door so I can get in there? She said, no, bitch, you're weird. Or something like that. I don't know exactly what she said, but that set me off completely. If y'all didn't have your phone, you had to be home. You knew how my mom was. And I wasn't home or even in the car to go home. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have nothing. I didn't even have my shoes on. And I did not like this girl from the beginning. I don't like her. I haven't liked her, but I wasn't going to start drama because that shit is annoying. Like, I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me, but just leave me alone. Just don't talk to me. That's cool. I don't care, but you continuously start drama. And that's what sets me off. But she set me off because she said something. She called me a bitch. She called me a whore. Was already pissed off because I wanted my phone. I wanted to go home. And so I was like, let me in the car. I want Naomi's bitch ass. That's all I remember saying. And then I was like pounding on the door. This is very wrong for me, and I'm so sorry for whoever's car that was. I think it was someone that I'm not going to say his name. But I think it was his car, and I'm very sorry because that was low-key fucked up, and I should not have done that because that was not my car. That was not her car. If it was her car, I wouldn't care, but it wasn't. So it was just the car that she was in. So I'm very sorry for whoever's car that was. But I was banging on the door like this with the handle. and just like trying to get in, and then I ran into the car. She wouldn't get out of the car, so I had to run into the car because she wouldn't get out. And that's where that one comment came in when they said, "Are you gonna leave out the part where you stayed in the car?" And that's scary. It's okay. It's okay. If Naomi, you know where I live, you know where I stay, you know where I work. You have my low. Come find me if you really want that.
Good morning, family. Finish getting ready with me as I tell you guys about my work horror story. Basically, my boss. This happened, okay, little backstory. I've worked at my job for just under a year. I hit 1 year next month, or in like 2 weeks. This happened back in November, December. So, my boss is going on a 2-month leave. That first week that he was off of work, he started texting me all these like crazy things. Like he started texting me saying things like he wants to adopt me. I'm his little fairy princess. I'm the daughter he always wishes he had. He's telling me like I'm the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. He literally asked me, he was like, if I pay you $500, will you come over to my house and spend the night with me? And he was saying all sorts of like crazy things. Mind you, he has a wife, he has 2 sons, he is well into his 40s, and I was a minor at this time. And obviously, he was the one who employed me, he knew I was a minor, like, let's not get this twisted. Basically, though, I was not really saying anything back to him. I was kind of just like, haha, what the fuck, like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, I wasn't being like super serious about the situation, because I mean, like, he's on leave, I'm not gonna see him for 2 months, he's not gonna act like this when he gets back. It's not like I'm gonna see him anytime soon. Like, whatever, it should be fine. So I just wasn't really like telling him to stop. I wasn't really like being like, I wasn't like, I don't know. But I did tell my dad about it, and my dad was like, what the fuck? Like, if he continues to act like this, you're quitting when he gets back. Basically, he leaves for his trip. He's gone for 2 months, and he's not supposed to get back until middle of January. But Christmas Eve rolls around, and I'm working my morning shift, and everything is great, and I'm having a great day. It's Christmas Eve, guys. Like, I'm just having the time of my life at work. Basically, though, all of a sudden, I see this big fat man walking up to our door, and I'm like, holy shit, why is he back so early? And it's my boss. And basically, so I'm in the front. My job is a cashier. I'm a cashier, so I can't really leave that front area where the registers are. He comes in, and I kind of walk over to the back, and I'm like, can you take his order? I'm asking my coworker, can you take his order? Guys, I'm not trying to talk to him. I'm not trying to be near him. So my coworker goes up, and then instead of my boss coming to like order, because we thought he was ordering because he's not back from his break. He's not supposed to be working. He's not supposed to be in the back. He didn't show up in his work clothes, so he's not on the schedule. He's not supposed to be there, basically. Or I mean, he's able to be there, but not in the sense that he can just walk into the back and come into the kitchen and do what he wants to do. You know what I mean? He walks into the back, so I go up to the front, and my scared ass self, I start having a little panic attack, and I'm like, I need to leave. I need to get out of here. The only way for me to leave the front area is if I go around and go through that employee only back door that he came in from. And so I'm just like what the fuck do I do? My coworker tells me just jump over the counter and go outside. So that's exactly what I did. I jumped over the counter, I ran outside, and I got my ass out of there so fast. 15 minutes had gone by, and I called the store, and I was like, hey, like, is he gone yet? Like, can I come back to work? I'm sorry that I had to leave, but I really, like, I can't be around him. Like, this is not gonna work for me. And basically what my coworker on the phone told me was he was still in there, but they were trying to get him to leave. And he was like, just stay on the phone. I'm sure he'll be gone within like 5 minutes. And so I stayed on the phone. My boss had left. And I waited a couple minutes because I didn't see him leave. So I didn't know what direction he like went when he left. So I waited a couple minutes, and I went back to work. And basically, I'm back at work. I'm literally in the middle of taking an order. There are customers in the store. I am taking an order. My boss comes back in and starts cussing these customers out, literally cussing them out in Spanish. Mind you, he's a white man. He He's American. Like, I don't know. It was so weird. They were these Spanish-speaking customers. My boss came in literally cussing them out in Spanish, being like super racist, calling them all types of swear words and slurs, and just being crazy, literally being crazy. And so I text my boss's boss, and I'm like, you need to come here and you need to get this man out of here. What is he doing? What the hell is going on? Is he on drugs? He literally was acting like he was on drugs. Me and all my coworkers, we all thought he was on drugs, and he was. He was. After that interaction he had with the customers, he had left because I told him, I was like, I'm gonna call your boss. Like, I'm gonna tell your boss what you're doing, and she's gonna come here and you're gonna be in some big trouble, boy. Like, you need to get the fuck out of our store. You're not working. You're here for no reason. You're not even getting food. You have no reason to be here, so get the fuck out, is what I told my boss. Because I'm like, you're not gonna come in here. You're not doing this today. Like, it's Christmas Eve. You're not ruining the Christmas spirit. You're not ruining the Christmas spirit, okay? Anyways, he left. He did end up coming back 22 more times just within the next, like, 2 hours. Like, he was being crazy. But anyways, my older brother, he's, like, 21 years old. He lives in Paris, and I never see my brother. He had come to America. He came to surprise me for Christmas, and he came into my work, and he was in my work, and I was so excited to see him. I was so happy. I took his order and everything was fine. I told him a little bit about what my boss was doing, but I was like, he's gone now. I'm pretty sure, like, he's not coming back. I spoke too fucking soon, because right as my brother sits down to eat his food, mind you, he's with like 2 of his friends. My brother is eating his food. My boss comes right back in and starts screaming, literally screaming, pointing at me. She's a nicotine addict. She's fucking addicted to nicotine. Grabs a vape and throws it at my head. It hit me right here in the fucking head. Mind you, this is all like so many customers. We have so many customers in our store right now. This is all on the cameras. All of my coworkers are like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? I don't know if I already said this, but the first time that he had came in, when I left, when I was out in the parking lot, when he was in the kitchen, he started yelling at my coworkers, like all the cooks, to get down on their knees and pray up to him because he is their God. What are you talking about? So clearly this man is on drugs. Anyways, my dad shows up. My brother called my dad and told him the whole situation about how my boss threw the vape at my head and was screaming and being all crazy. My brother called my dad and was like, you need to get here right now. My dad comes. My dad literally, the second he sees...
No!
Oh shit, I name dropped. The second he sees my boss, literally, he goes batshit crazy. He's like, stay the fuck away from my daughter. I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing. Like, I'm calling the cops. My dad called the cops. The cops did end up coming. I had left, though. I had went home. Like, I left with my dad and my brother and his 2 friends. I left because I'm like, I'm not staying at work. My boss's boss even gave me permission. She was like, you're not staying at work. Like, this is not okay. I'm so sorry that this is going on. You're not staying at work. So I left. Cops did end up coming, and they arrested him, and he is now banned from a 3-mile radius of our store. He cannot come to our store. He cannot go anywhere near it. He's banned. Anyways, yeah, that's basically it. I have a whole bunch of other story times about that same boss and about just like my job in general. So if you guys want to hear more story times, trust me, I got you with some of the literally like craziest things you're gonna hear, because my old boss, he's fired now. Obviously he's been fired since that day. Even though he was on his leave still, they fired him. He's not allowed back. So it's been about 7 months without him. Best 7 months of my life. Thank you. Here's the final makeup look. My lashes are a little bit funky, but anyways, thank you for watching. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, story time on how I was left with a 6-month-old baby girl for over 48 hours when I was only supposed to be there for 5 to 6 hours tops. So for context, I am now 22 years old with a 10-month-old son of my own. So this happened quite a few years ago. I think I was like 18 or 19 when this happened. And they actually lived out of state. So I had driven probably a good over an hour and a half away to get to this person's house. I had only been nannying for a little over a year, and I had actually been referred to this family of the 6-month-old girl. Okay, so I had gotten to this person's house around 4:35 p.m. and they had typically said that they'd be home around 10:30 that night, so I can start getting home because I had a bit of a commute. Okay, so I had gotten there and they definitely were in a rush. Like, I think they had left no more than 10 minutes from me walking into the house, which was crazy. So they pretty much told me where the formula was for the girl, clothes, diapers, diaper cream, whatever I needed for what I thought was gonna only be a few hours being there. Okay, so I had sent the first message actually a little after 11 o'clock, but they didn't even receive it until the next night. I think it was like 8:30 p.m. They must have turned their phone on and received the message, but I had not gotten any indications that they read the message or, you know, acknowledged the message at all. So I pretty much just told them, like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, just checking in. You had said you'd be home around 11 p.m. and I didn't want to rush you, but I should start heading home because I'm over an hour away. A few hours had gone by, and I'm pretty sure a few hours, most literally, I think I messaged them again later at 4 a.m. and pretty much just said, hey, is everything okay? I was genuinely worried. I let them know their daughter is okay and that I wasn't sure what to do because I had no emergency contacts. So the only thing I could do is call the police department. Still no response. I waited for another 2 hours and then I called the police department, explained my situation, and they pretty much said, we'll be right over. So I started writing a message to the family and then I sent it as soon as I saw the police department was there and letting them know that the police department is there because I had no clue. Oh, this is falling because it thinks I'm crazy. Okay, so my phone thinks this is all crazy because it keeps wanting to fall. So anyways, fire and rescue ended up showing up. EMS ended up showing up. A bunch of police officers ended up showing up and 2 detectives showed up, which freaked me out more than I already was freaked out, and I was quite freaked out. And they came in, and I guess the EMS and fire and rescue were there because they were technically doing a wellness check on baby girl. And anyways, the police pretty much said, where do you know their last location was? And I said the only thing that they told me was they were going to Chick-fil-A for dinner and that they were going to the AMC that was literally only 5 minutes down the street for a movie. So the police, a couple of the officers ended up going and checking to make sure they were actually where they told me they were going. The officer came back and pretty much said they definitely were at the Chick-fil-A, but they never saw them at the AMC, the movie theater. Which I was like, they didn't go to the movie, so where the hell did they go? It's like literally makes me want to scream so badly. Okay, so I ended up putting baby down for a nap, which I was actually surprised how well she did sleeping through the night and for her naps because they did say she was struggling pretty bad with colic. But she did do pretty good with me, which I was very shocked about. Anyways, the police pretty much said that they'll have a social worker come and take baby girl until the parents return or until they're able to find an emergency contact or family in the area to come get her. And I respectfully said, I'm really sorry. I just don't feel comfortable with anyone taking her since I was pretty much the last known guardian with her. That's pretty much how the police explained it, as I'm the last known guardian who was left with baby girl. The police said, okay, that is fine, but we will have an officer sit at the house until the parents do return or until we are able to hear from them and figure out where they are. I didn't hear from them. I still didn't hear from them. They didn't hear from them, and they tried calling them and contacting them. They tried to do all of the things. Okay, so fast forward. A cop did sit at the house 24/7, and an officer came and checked on me every 4 or 5 hours just to make sure I was okay. The baby was okay. We had what we needed. Another officer was very nice and actually brought me food the one evening, and then for breakfast, the last morning I was there, he came with breakfast, which was very nice and very unnecessary. Anyways, what's crazy is baby girl wakes up from her first nap and I start hearing yelling outside. And when I say yelling, I mean like high-pitched screaming yelling. Okay, so I hear yelling, and it's from her parents outside, and I just wait inside, and I'm kind of freaked out because like they're yelling and screaming. A minute later, a cop comes in and says, okay, her parents are back, and we have to wait until the detective gets here and a social worker gets here until we allow them both back inside, which was very understandable to me. So I waited with the officer inside. Baby was doing her like tummy time, laying on her back, playing on the floor. Mind you, this whole time, the whole 48 plus hours of all of this happening, they had a dog that was profusely vomiting everywhere, all over the house. So I'm trying to clean up puke, and the officer, which I find it a little bit funny that the officer was in the house helping me clean up loads of dog vomit everywhere. So I think like 20-30 minutes go by. A detective comes in, and following by a social worker and the parents. And pretty much the parents said to me, so sorry, we decided to go out of town. I pretty much stared at them and didn't really know what to say. And the officer who had originally come inside helping me with the dog looked at me, looked at the parents, and said, you went out of town without communicating with your babysitter? And they said, yeah, we thought everything would be okay. She seemed very reliable. She seemed like she was able. Able, that is exactly what they said. She was able. So I pretty much collected myself and told them, I am no longer needed here. You have who you need here for your necessities. Meaning you obviously have needs that need to be met. The officer pretty much said, you're not leaving until you get paid. So the dad was like, what is your Venmo? So I gave him my Venmo, and he only paid me for the 5 hours that I was supposed to be there. And the officer looked at me and said, did you get paid? And I said, yes, sir. They only paid me for the 5 hours that I was supposed to be here. The officer looked at him and said, absolutely not. You are paying her for the full 48 plus hours she has been here. So I tried to be as nice as I could, and I ended up charging them my nightly rate, and then for during the day, my hourly rate, which the officer said that's a little too nice since you were pretty much no contact with them this whole time. An officer walked me to my car and just explained to me, please do not talk about this incident unless you are contacted by the detective in whom was inside. I was not contacted until a whole year later by the detective explaining that the parents pretty much were on probation, but were able to keep guardianship of their daughter. Pretty much from what I understand and what the detective explained is they had to have visitations from a social worker and I guess social services for 2 years following the incident, 3 times a week, which I guess that's very necessary. They explained a little bit more of the detail to me, and I just felt honestly really bad for the little girl, and I still think about her so frequently, and just really hope she's okay and is in a good situation now. 2 years ago, I get a message from the family, and they pretty much just asked, hey, are you able to babysit baby girl? When I tell you I didn't respond to the message at all, I didn't respond to the message, and I thought it was so crazy. Especially that they weren't supposed to, 1, reach out, 2, they were not able to have babysitters for I think 3 years unless it was immediate family, and they had to get an okay from a social worker. That is pretty much the gist of everything that had happened. There definitely is a lot more that did happen, but that's the story time on how I was left with baby girl for 48 hours.
Story time on how my homophobic parents caught me sneaking a girl in. This all started when I was a sophomore. I'm going into senior year. This was November of my sophomore year, so 2024. I started talking to this girl. She's a stud, and like one of my friends set me up with her because I started like being interested in being like, maybe I don't like guys. So my friend gave me her snap and we started talking. She asked me to homecoming. That's like one of the first times we like saw each other in person actually. Yeah, we just had like mutual friends. We started like talking, hanging out a little bit. We never really hung out alone because I didn't drive. My parents were really strict, and also like they were homophobic, so I feel like if I brought a stud to my house, like I don't know, I was just scared that they would like find out. And like they never went through my phone. They trusted me and everything, so they were strict about like going out and stuff and who I hang out with. Anyways, we ended up like, we started dating really early on without really knowing each other, because that's just how like lesbian relationships go. And we broke up. We didn't really like know how to like, I was bad at relationships, she was bad at relationships, blah blah blah. We broke up, and then one night like we still talked. So one night she was like, I want to come over, and she was like really drunk. I think she was coming from a party, and we were like friends, but like kind of like still liked each other. It was like 2 a.m. around that, and I was like, I can't like go out or anything, like you can't come over, it's too late. She was like, let me sneak in your window, because I live on the ground floor. It's like this window goes out to the ground. So, and my window actually didn't have a screen on it because my cat tore it off, like seriously. And I've never snuck out or snuck anyone in before, so this was the first time, and I was like, okay, fine. I wanted to see her really bad. She came over, I let her in, I like set up a fan so my parents wouldn't hear, but my parents sleep right above me. Anyways, she comes in and we just talking, like, you know, having fun, blah blah blah. We didn't do anything like that night, but we were like making out, and I guess we were getting too loud, like talking and whispering. We kind of just like forgot to be sneaky. So I hear the stairs, and my door is locked, but I hear somebody coming down the stairs, and my mom's knocking on the door like, Ava, like, who are you talking to? Because I woke her up. She's like, Ava, who are you talking to in there? And I was like, oh, I'm on the phone. And she's like, unlock the door, and she starts rattling the door. So I told this girl, I was like, go in the closet, get in the closet. So I went and unlocked the door, I let my mom, and I was like, I was on the phone with somebody, and she was like, let me see your phone. So I was like, no, like, you can look through in the morning. And then a phone starts ringing, and she's holding my phone, and a phone starts ringing on my bed, and I'm just like, and she picks it up, and she's like, what is this? Like, you have an extra phone? Like, she thought it was my trap phone or whatever. And then I was like, I gave up. I was like, no, I'm not getting out of this. I was like, there's somebody in the closet. Straight up, there's somebody in the closet, and I was like, just come out. I was telling her to come out, she wasn't. My mom's like, what? So she like walks over and like opens it, and then this girl comes out of the closet. My mom is just like, who is this? What the fuck is going on? She's so confused. My dad comes in. My dad is hearing this all, and so he woke up too. He came downstairs. So I'm just like explaining, making up the first excuse. She didn't have anywhere to go. She texted me, this is my friend. Like, she texted me that she needed a place to stay, and they're like, okay, but like, you need to tell us. Like, they weren't that mad about it because I've never done anything like this before, so they believed me. They were like, okay, well, you could have just asked us. She could have slept over and all this stuff. Then my mom's like, okay, well, I'm still gonna take your phone. And then the girl that I snuck over, her ride was actually there. It was like 4:30 a.m. at this time, so she left. It was just really awkward. I'm glad, like, they didn't freak out about it, obviously, until they took my phone, started going through it. They went upstairs. I was just like, bro, I'm going to bed. Like, I already know they're gonna find all sorts of shit, and then find out that I'm gay, and that girl I was sneaking over because we had a thing. So they read through me and her text. They literally read like my breakup paragraph, like all that stuff. I got grounded for a while. Got my phone back, I think, the next day, but I wasn't allowed to like hang out with friends or go out or anything. They didn't make me unadd her or anything. They still trusted me, knew we were friends still, but then they kept catching us like on FaceTime talking, and like talking about the fact that like we're still like each other and all this stuff, because after that night we wanted to start talking again. So she snuck in like 6 other times. So yeah, I really didn't learn my lesson, but was I doing anything wrong? Not really, because I knew that they were homophobic, and if I just told them I like this girl and stuff, they wouldn't let me, like, you know. So we kept getting caught, kept getting in trouble. I got grounded for so long. Like, I was just getting grounded, ungrounded a few weeks later, grounded again, and the groundings got like longer and longer. I got caught for like smoking weed and like drinking and vaping. So they got me a bunch of like vape tests and weed tests, and now I'm 17, turning 18 this year. We're still dating. They still don't know. I'm just faking it till I make it because I can't tell them. I have a lot of more story times about my homophobic parents and getting caught and getting in trouble. I've gotten caught sneaking out right after I jumped out the window. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to hear any more story times.
Okay, I'm so excited to talk about this. It's been a while since all of this has happened. I feel a little removed, and I definitely am healed enough to talk about this entire thing. I wish you guys could have seen me at work today between flights. I was reading your comments and I was cracking up. So I am just truly so excited to talk about my side of things. I worked for this corporation, this major corporation in Orlando, Florida. I'm sure we can all guess what corporation I'm talking about. I was on their college program from 2023 until a few months into 2024 when I was terminated. I also want to start by saying I signed a contract. I did in fact violate that contract and I was terminated. However, I just feel that the way this termination came about, simply put, the entire thing was extremely sinister and extremely evil. Let's get into it. I did a college program for a whole year and then went part-time with the company in the end, like towards the end of January, beginning of February, I went part-time. I believe I was still on my college program when all the poop hit the fan, because I was called in by schmippity schmoppity schmootik's leadership, and their leadership talked to me about this. So I believe I was still, like, they were still scheduling me at this location. I just want to truly talk about my side of things. There are videos all on TikTok about other people's side of things. If you just look up schmippity schmoppity schmootik termination, wrongful termination, you will find so many videos. That's those people's sides. I'm gonna talk about my side. In the end of January, I was pulled for a meeting with their leadership, and I was handed two pictures of me backstage. And I was asked to explain these pictures. Now, one of my friends, wait, we're still friends. I was gonna say one of my friends at the time. We're still really good friends. She was there when I was clocking into work. She was right there next to me, because you clock in on like a little desktop computer, like a little computer thing, and it'll show you your assignment. So it'll say, go here, do this, or go here and do this, go here and do this. Mine said, go to a meeting with leadership. And I was like, huh, that's weird. I don't know why. And she immediately pulled me aside and she said, this is what they're going to talk to you about. They might show you some pictures. Just deny everything. Like, you don't know anything because we don't know anything. Like, they pulled so many people aside this week, the week before, like, this is just what's going to happen. So just be prepared. That is exactly what happened to me. I go down there with a leader, and this leader shows me two pictures of myself backstage, and I just say I don't, because truly I didn't know who took, I really could not remember who took those pictures of me or like what was going on, but I am there posed in both the pictures. I'm posed. And the pictures are so, guys, like, when I say backstage photos, I'm not talking about Mickey Mouse and Cinderella changing in the background. We're talking about a break area with a bulletin board next to my face, like the corner. Like, there's not even information on the bulletin board. It's a corner of the bulletin board right here next to my face, and I have my hair. I had like these really cute braids, and my hair is like this. I'm gonna show you. My hair is like this, and I have some of it pulled under to look like a beard, and I'm doing this in the picture. This is what I'm doing in the picture. just silly photos. These pictures weren't anything off, like god awful, we're horrible people, Mickey Mouse is getting his costume. Like, it's not that. These are just fun pictures that anybody would take at work. So in the contract, I don't know if they've changed it. They probably have at this point because this was a pretty big deal. In the contract at the time, it said you cannot take or post photos backstage. However, these pictures, while I was posed for them, were taken of me and posted on someone else's account. Now, the platform in which these pictures were posted is also super duper important to talk about. We're not talking about Instagram. We're not talking about Facebook. We're not talking about Snapchat. We're not even talking about TikTok. These weren't even videos, pictures posted to TikTok. These were videos. I'm sorry, there were no videos. These were pictures taken and posted on Laps. I don't know if you guys know about Laps. It's almost kind of not even really like Be Real. The idea was you take this photo, you can only take one, or I actually don't remember how many. You can take as many as you want, but you can't access them immediately. It takes a certain amount of time for the pictures to develop, and then once they do, it's like a really cute like filter. Everybody looks cute in the picture. That's why everybody loved it. And that's where all these pictures were being uploaded to. It's also super important to know these accounts that these pictures were taken from were private accounts. These were not public accounts where Disney's social media team could go in and find things, or our management team. Like, it was not that, which is why this entire thing is so awful. Someone, and I know who, I'm not gonna name names, but someone went onto multiple people's accounts and screenshotted all these pictures. This person that was friends with all these people went onto their account, friends, went onto their Laps private accounts, in which pretty much only Walt Disney World employees had access to these accounts, screenshotted them, their accounts, screen recorded, screenshotted, and sent them in to leadership. And leadership had no choice but to start an investigation and eventually terminate 18 people. All because someone was petty, someone felt left out, someone didn't feel included, sent in all these pictures and got people fired. People that this person didn't even have issues with, including me. I barely spoke to this person. I wasn't even in friend groups with this person. So a lot of comments will say the person who took the pictures, they still work at Schmippity Schmoppity Boutique, and that's why this whole thing is evil and sinister and whatever. No. I'm pretty sure there were probably 2 or 3 people who were taking the pictures and posted them. Only one person of those 2 or 3 wasn't fired. And guess what that person did? That person was given like a 3-point reprimand, and that person quit. That person saw all of her friends get fired, and she quit. Sorry, y'all. I went to a workout class. Gotta stay on top of your health here when you are a flight attendant. I just wanted to wrap this up with a couple more points. I feel like once this last post has been up for a while, I'll probably get some comments saying, Jordan, you were in the wrong. Disney fired you. We kind of were taking Disney's side, which I'm not going to disagree with. I completely understand why I was fired. My issue is more about the group and the people I knew who were also fired alongside me. If it was just a one-off, it was just me, it was me and one other person, okay, I understand. Sucky situation, horrible. That sucks for us. Pause. this is not a hickey. This is from cupping. I got cupping on my back, so before you call me a whore, I'm not, I swear. It really looks, I've been worried about it at work. It really looks like a hickey, but I have multiple from getting cupped. That sounded dirty too, but whatever. My whole issue with this is I just feel that the person who sent these pictures in, do I think this person wanted to get 18 people fired? No. I think a lot of the people that got fired were unfortunately collateral. My whole point is that getting people fired isn't a joke. Like, it's not a joke. You are messing with someone's livelihood. There were people that lost their health insurance and could not get access to the medication they needed. There were people actively getting their college degree through Disney because Disney was paying for it, who were they were fired. We're messing with people's education, we're messing with people's health, and we're messing with people's finances. There were moms that got fired who were providing for children. I, as a part-time employee, was coming from a college program where you don't make money. You are an intern for Disney. They're making so much money off of you because they can work you crazy hours and they don't have to pay you as much as their full-time and part-time employees. I was part-time with the company, a couple weeks part-time, had gotten one paycheck, right? As a part-time employee, I had barely any money, right? I get fired and I have to find a job in which I'm making $12.50. Who is living off of $12.50 an hour? Who is doing that? I had to figure out how to make it work. I worked so hard. I nannied. I worked at that job. I was part-time at that job. I was fighting for hours. And so to me, to get 18 people fired over something that does not matter, if it was a safety issue, okay, get 18 people fired. If it was truly something horrible, awful, heinous that we were doing, okay, we deserved it. But there were people that needed that job. They needed it. Forget making magical moments. Forget even working for Disney. Forget it. Forget all of that aside. We come here to make money and get a paycheck, pay our bills, and take care of our families. And you took that away from so many people, which to me is an evil thing to do. To me, it's not even a question. Of course, I can respect the person that took the pictures, owned up to it, and quit, versus the person that turned in all the photos and still works there to this day. That's the conclusion to my part of the story. This is just from my point of view. I don't know everything. I just know what I went through and my side of things. This was an ugly, ugly, ugly situation. And if you work anywhere and you're thinking about, saying something to your management about another person, or, you're thinking about getting someone fired, please make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and that it's actually necessary, because this entire thing scarred me. Getting fired from this job in particular, it was one of the best opportunities I've ever had. I made so many children smile and laugh, and I made moms and dads cry. I don't want to say I did that, but I was a part of those memories and those magical moments, and that wasn't something I took lightly. I loved my job. It was stressful at times. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, if you worked with me and I worked with you, we were stressed together. We were overwhelmed together, but that job was so rewarding. But even from just taking that aside, I mean, financially, I was wrecked. I was so sad for months because I could barely afford to live and eat. My mom had to help me out. It was truly such a struggle. There were times I was driving to work and barely had enough gas to get to work. And so my job offered daily pay, which of course gets taken out of your paycheck. So I would have to basically calculate how much of the daily pay I was going to be able to access. And I kid you not, because I was only making $12.50 an hour, I think my daily pay on average, I would get like $36 for the daily pay. Half of that I would put in my tank and half of it I would use to buy food for the day until my next paycheck. And then that paycheck would go to rent. It would all go to rent. And I mean, it was horrible, guys. Like, it wrecked me. I'm not in that situation anymore. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. I also don't work for Disney anymore. I've come a long way since then. I learned a lot from that situation. I made so many great friends and bonds with people through that. So I always like to look on the positive side of things. I love where I'm at in life right now. I don't think I would be where I am had that not happened to me. But yeah, guys, just be careful about what you say about other people to management at your jobs, and have grace. And guys, talk to people. If you have an issue with someone, sit down and talk to them. Be an adult. It's okay to be uncomfortable. 10-minute uncomfy conversation, but you are saving someone's job. So please, please, please have grace, be kind, and yeah.
I'm making a story time about my time in rehab when I walked in on a girl who... So basically, this is my second time in this rehab. I had already been in there before I got kicked out for over involvement with guys. You know. But anyways, I was on probation. I'm still on probation. But anyways, I was on probation and I was too much again. I never stopped because that rehab sucks. And so they sent me back. I called the director of the place and I begged her to let me come back. She was like, yeah, I guess, or whatever. She was like, we'd love to have you back, da da da, I believe you've changed. And I was like, yes. And so I got in there. First day there was beef. This girl who was there was getting kicked out and she was trying to fight my mom. And my mom was like, okay, then let's fight. It was really funny. But anyways, and so then it was just me and this one girl. We were chilling, and then this girl, we're gonna call her Hannah. She came and we all got really close. And the rooms are it's like a hotel kind of, and so the rooms are separate, but me and this girl's rooms were right next to each other. There's the big doorway kind of that goes out, you know. And so our rooms are right next to each other, so the cameras can't see us. So we would go into each other's rooms and hang out and stuff. And so one day we were doing this the trick that makes you pass out where you're you know. And she was doing it, and then a worker, the little workers that work there, the floor staff, she walked in on Hannah doing that, and I was like, bro, I was telling her, I was like, you're that's dumb, you're being dumb, they're gonna kick you out. And she was like, I don't give a fuck, I don't even remember what she was saying, but she was basically just saying that she didn't care. And I was like, okay, bro. And I was trying to help her out because she had stuff going on, and that if she got kicked out, bad stuff would happen. I'm not gonna expose her or nothing, but and so we're kind of arguing, and I was like, trust me, juvia's not fun, da 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 da. And she was like, you know, whatever. So she got upset and she went upstairs to her room, and she was wearing my pink Pro Clip shirt, and I was like, there was two other girls there, and I was like, shit, let's go get my shirt back, trying to be messy and shit. So we went up there, and I'm, you know, because the cameras can't see me, I'm banging the fuck on her door. I'm like, give me my shirt back, da 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 da, just I was being hella a bully, I was being really rude. And so then she wasn't answering, and so I opened her door, you know, because the cameras can't see. So I opened the door, and I'm like, she's not in there. And in there, we have a bathroom in our room, and the bathrooms have a lock on the door. So I prop up her door with her shoe, and I try to open the door, and it's locked, and I'm banging on her bathroom door and telling her to open it. just being hella rude and hella disrespectful. And so I'm like, all right, whatever. And I come back out, and me and the other girls were like, let's just go back downstairs, like, whatever, fuck it, like, I'll get my shit back later. And so we walked downstairs, we're like barely down the hallway downstairs, and we hear this loud crash. And so we book it upstairs. We're still trying to be quiet, and we book it upstairs, and I open her door, and I'm like, I don't see nothing. I try her bathroom door again. She's not answering. I don't hear anything anymore. Like, I didn't hear anything at all in the first place, but I didn't hear nothing. And so I and then so like I'm like, okay, bet, then I'll just sit out here and wait. And so I keep her door. I'm sitting outside of her room on the floor waiting for her. The girls are sitting like over there, so like, you know, because it's not their room, so they can't go where I'm at. So I'm just waiting there. I'm looking in her room waiting for her to come out, because she has to come out at some point, like. And then I was being so rude. I was being hella bully. And so then I'm waiting. I look in there. She opens her bathroom door, and she sticks her arm out with my shirt in her hand. So I go in there to get my shirt, and the door's open, you know, because her arm is out. And I immediately see glass everywhere. That loud crash that we heard when we went downstairs was her. She broke her mirror. So we have mirrors in there, and she broke her mirror, and there was glass everywhere. There was, like, blood, like, everywhere. Like, she tried, like, the things, and then, and I literally, like, I had already grabbed the shirt, and I just, like, dropped the shirt, and I, like, ran downstairs. I was like, she just, like, and so I, like, ran downstairs, and I told the girls, and we were like, oh, fuck. So I ran downstairs, I'm like, call 911, call 911. And so the staff, we love this one staff, she's great, we're gonna call her, she's not gonna have a name. But she goes up there in her room, she's laying there with her, like, trying to help her, and I'm telling them, call 911, call 911. They're not doing shit. And so I'm, like, mad as hell, because they can't put their hands on us. So if she wanted to go back and do whatever in her bathroom, then she could have, because they can't touch us. But that day was our call day, and so I still hadn't made my call yet. So I'm like, let me call my mom. And they're waiting for the big boss to come, and they're not letting me call my mom at all, and they're not calling 911. They're just sitting there. So we're standing downstairs in the hallway, like, waiting for some shit to happen. And then one of the staff walks upstairs. I fucking hate her. Her name's Shelly. I fucking hate her. She's a dumb, weird bitch, and she's old, and she needs to retire already. And she walks upstairs. She's up there for maybe, like, 10 minutes. She walks downstairs, and it sounds like she's laughing. We're like, does this bitch have breathing problems, or is she laughing? Like, what the fuck is good? And so we're like, what the hell? She was laughing. We found that out later, that she was actually laughing at the girl. Crazy, you're a grown woman. So I'm like, what the hell? Then the big boss shows up, and I'm, like, crying. She gives me a hug and everything, and I'm like, I don't want to go home. She's like, you're not gonna go home. But before she showed up, they had, like, called her, because I was telling, let me make my call. So they called her, they let me make my call to my mom. My mom got 3 different counties involved. The cop showed up to do a wellness check and everything, and my mom was like, I'm coming to get you. So I'm telling the big boss, I'm like, I don't want to leave, like, don't let me leave, like, da-da-da. She's like, if anything, this is more reason for you to stay, like, you're not leaving. And so I was like, okay, good, like, I thought we were chilling, you know. They end up taking her to the hospital, and she's there for, I don't know how long, but obviously I'm traumatized. Like, I found her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm traumatized, I don't want to do anything, I feel sick. And that night was, like, movie night or something, so we were supposed to be watching a movie, but I didn't feel like doing shit, so... and they were fine with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the staff, they were chill with that. And then we go to sleep, obviously, whatever. They're cleaning out her room. We have no idea what's happening with her. The next day, we're sitting out in the courtyard, and there's windows that can see inside. And we know where her new room is, because we know that she came back. And she walks out of her room. I get up, and I run inside, and we all run inside, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And she's, like, shaking. She gives me a hug. She's shaking, like... She's just like, they told me I could talk to you, and they wouldn't let me talk to you, like, da-da-da-da. And, like, we're hugging and everything, and, like, we go take our meds, because it's med time, that's why she came out of her room. And so then we take our meds, we're sitting in the coffee shop, and, we're just talking about this, we're like, this is crazy, like, this place is horrible, like, and that night, all the girls' parents, they called everybody's parents, and they were like, everything's okay, because they don't want us to leave. And we're like, they don't want us to leave because they don't want us to tell nobody about this because they're not handling it right, and everything, So we're just sitting there talking about it, like, this place is fucking crazy, like, this place is fucked up, like, all that. And apparently they didn't call 911 because the cuts were superficial. They had to glue it back together, so I don't think that's superficial. Superficial, I don't know if it means, like, they're not deep. But anyways, we're talking about how this is crazy. My counselor comes, she's like, come out here and talk to me, and I'm like, okay. Because we're sitting in the coffee shop, she's like, come in here and talk to me. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm figuring they're going to talk to all of us about everything. So I come out, and I look in the lobby, because you can see down the hallway and see the lobby, and I see my mom. And I'm like, what the hell? She's like, your mom's here to come pick you up. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? Like, da-da-da-da. And she's like, you threatened a staff member. Because when Shelly, the dumb freaking staff, when she was laughing, I was like, oh, fuck no, like, I'm gonna beat her. Like, like, I was just being messy. And I was like, that bitch can catch my fade. Like, da-da-da-da. So I guess I threatened a staff member. So they kicked me out. And they took me straight to juvie. But that's the story. That's the story time. That was at Sundown freaking ranch in Yakima, Washington. That place sucks. Don't ever go there. It sucks. The counselors are cool and the staff is pretty cool, except fucking Shelly, the bitch. I hope she gets fired. I hope she got fired. They don't handle their shit right. They didn't even call 911, and I hate that place, and I think everybody should know. Thank you for listening.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how I literally almost just got kidnapped yesterday. No joke. So to start, my town is like super small. Like my graduating class is like 34 people. So some of the things I do in the story look kind of dumb. But like if you were in my position, you would probably do the same thing. Also, I am going to tell you like the type of people that were here, and I swear I am not trying to be racist. I'm not racist. I just want to give you guys the full story. So me and my friend, we went for a walk because it's summer. We play sports and our sports start in summer. Like we don't want to be fat chuds. So we go for walks, runs, whatever throughout the summer. And it was nothing new. We just went for another walk. Right now there are well, not anymore, but when we took this walk, there were like still people in our town because it was our fair this weekend. And people are like still kind of like trying to clean up and everything from it. So there's still like probably a couple people that we don't know in this town right now, but it's like fine because like I said, like we live in a super small town. We're not always like, oh, this person could be bad, this person could be bad. Like everybody knows everybody, like everybody's nice. And me, I personally am a little bit way too optimistic. So anyways, we're going on our walk, and then this like SUV thing, I don't really know what they're called, but, like it's like it's not a van, but it's like bigger than an SUV. Like I don't know what it is, but full of men. All their windows are down and they yell hi to us. And like I didn't really say anything because like, but my friend, she said hi. All their windows were down and they kept on driving and they were like still, and I was like, okay, that's a little weird. But like when they said hi, they looked very like happy and jolly because it was like, hey, like it wasn't like a hi. So I was like, they're just happy. But we both didn't think anything of it because like people do that. We continue our walk. This part of my get ready with me is taking so long because I put way too much. I also forgot primer. Anyways, we continue our walk, and I don't know if this car was following us, so I'm not gonna say it was, but there's a chance like they could have been. But we got thirsty, so we went into our little like grocery store that we have to go get some drinks. And when we finish, we come out, and that same vehicle of men are like not in the parking lot, like on the other side of the road, just driving like this. All the windows are down, they're all staring, and they go, bye. And we were like, okay. Again, they were driving and they were like this though. All of them, all their windows down, like everything. So I was like, okay, they sound just like happy, like it's fair. Like I don't think we know them. There's a chance that like we could know them, but we think they're people that like run the carnival because they were down there like cleaning up like the carnival stuff. So whatever, we're like, they're just saying hi, bye. They saw us twice. What a coincidence. Like, okay. So we decide to like go to the park because me, my boyfriend, his friend, my friend, we were all gonna go play pickleball. And we were gonna go sit at the park at like the picnic table, not the picnic table, like the tables by like the water while we wait, because like we just went on like a 3-mile walk and it's hot out. So we get there and we park at the parking lot, and guess who's there? that vehicle men. Now, like I said earlier, like I'm way too optimistic for like a situation like this. My friend on the other hand, no, she is going to plan out her like survival tactics, like her escape plan, like everything. This is the part where it might sound bad, but I swear I have no like ill intention for this part, if that makes sense. But there's still that full vehicle of men, and then they were all Mexican, and then there's another truck of them, and then there's like some just like outside near their vehicles. And then she's telling me that she's not getting out of the car to like go walk to the table that we're gonna sit out, and I was like, it's fine, like they're just happy, whatever. They're just from like the thing. And then she gives me the story about how she thinks it's the same man who asked her last night at the fair like if she wanted to get on the ride. And I was like, he's just asking if you want to get on the ride before he starts it, like there's nothing wrong with that. And there's only like one other adult woman there, but I think she ended up leaving because I didn't see her for the rest of the time. And then there was one other, maybe like in her 20s, like blonde girl there. And so I think that kind of helped her a little bit. I finally convinced her like get out of the car, like nothing's gonna happen, like it's fine, they like aren't bad. But was I wrong? So we start walking to like get to the table, and like I don't know how to explain it. I'm parked here. There's two sides of the parking lot. I'm parked here, they're parked here, and like then there's like a walk path like this, and the table's like over here. So we gotta like walk here and then by their cars and then here to like get to the table. So we're like starting to walk, and then they see us, so they're all like yelling out their windows like hi, 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 and like they're all like waving and everything. She just says hi. She's like hi, because like they would not stop saying hi. And so we start walking by, and then they like we're on this side, so they're all looking, and then they turn and we're on this side, and they turn to look on this side. And then like I said, she is like, she's not taking this, so she's like turning around, she's like, you're not gonna stare at me, and like she's going off on them. Like I was like, just turn around, it's fine, just keep walking. And when like she was turning around like yelling at them, they were like reaching out the window. There was a guy standing like outside of it. Was just it was weird. This is where I was kind of like starting to get freaked out, because like yeah, you can like say hi and bye to someone that you see on a walk, but now you're like reaching out the window like yelling at us like while we're walking, like no, that's a little bit too far. But we finally get like far enough away, like they haven't gotten out of the car or anything like that, so that's why I'm still like, no, they're fine. Like if they wanted to kill us, they would get out of the car and chase us. So we start walking, and then they start yelling, come here, come on, get back, like yelling. And I was like, oh, you weren't playing. And then my friend, she's mad. She's like, I told you, I effing told you. And I was like, no, it's fine, just keep walking. So the path is here to get to the table, but there's like a road here with like houses, and then like the fair's over there. Not anymore because it's over. And she's like, no, go this way. So then like we're not stuck at the park with them, which is like reasonable. So we turn that way. They're still yelling, come back, come here, come back, get over here, like stuff like that. And then so I'm like, oh, do you want to just like start practicing for field hockey to go run? So we start jogging, and we hide at this like house. It was like her babysitter's house, old babysitter. She doesn't have a babysitter anymore. So while we're hiding, this is like back to like when I said that like everybody knows everybody, like I think everybody's nice. My car is there with the windows down, keys inside of it, bags inside, like everything's inside of it. My windows are down, it's unlocked. Like they could take my car, they could put anything in it, they could take anything out of it if they wanted. And now I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, my car's unlocked, my windows are down, everything's in it, like we gotta go back. So here's like the house that we're hiding at, and then there's like, I don't know how to explain this. Here's like the road and like the parking lot that they're at, but there's like trees and bushes all like right here, and then the road right here. So it's like, that's what it looks like. And then road. So it's open right here, not open right here, parked right here. So we go in there, we take it slow. I'm like trying to convince her to like go back, it's fine, like they're not gonna do anything. Like I said, like if they wanted to do anything, they would get out and chase us. She's like heavily like, no, I'm not doing it. So I tell her like, let's just go slow, like let's inch up. So we go into that place I was talking to you about, and we look through the bushes to like watch them, kind of see like where they are. And we see like the SUV thing that they were in connected to like one of like the trailer things that like they're all taking from the fair. I don't know like exactly what it was, but it was connected to the SUV thing. And then we sit there and we kind of like wait for it, because like we don't know what they're gonna do. She doesn't know what they're gonna do, especially. And then I see the driver. He was like a short, big bellied guy in a white shirt. I see him like get out, check like the thing, and then get back in. So it's like, okay, we're fine, they're leaving. We watch the SUV thing leave. So I'm like, we're good, let's go. For clarification, like, here's the thing, it's like this, the road's right here, park's right here. We're like all the way back in the bushes watching, because that's like the only open spot. So we have to like start walking over here to like get back over, if that makes sense. So we start walking back up, and like I'm telling her, because like she's like freaking out, I'm telling her like, just listen with your ears before you like walk, you know, if that makes sense. Like, walk slowly so you can hear, so you don't have to see it first. So we're walking and we hear like a vehicle coming. So like any other teenage girls would do, we start running back to like the bushes that we are hiding from. But we didn't get there in time. So the vehicle stops like in front of like the road. Good thing we like kept running, like we ran through those bushes because there was no other way out. And then the man starts yelling at us, like not like hi, not bye, not like hey, like that. Like he's yelling, and we're just running. She has an Alani on her hand. She chucks it behind, like she's not playing, she's running. She has battle wounds. But that's all I can fit in the story time. So if you want a part 2, just comment down below and I will gladly give a part 2, because it wasn't funny. Like, it was an interesting walk. Here is the part 2 of the story time that everybody has been waiting for. Get ready with me while I tell you about how I literally almost got kidnapped. I'm not sure exactly where I was in the first part, so I'm just gonna kind of go where I thought I was. Also, if you haven't seen the first part yet, I would definitely recommend going to watch it. So, me and my friends were in that area, and we start walking back to like go to my car because I left it stranded there and I was scared because I didn't know what they were gonna do. And then we hear like a vehicle coming, so we start running back in. So we pretty much started running to like hide again, but it's like literally straight, so there's nowhere to like hide in those bushes. And it was like a guy. I think it was like one of the people that were there already, but not the ones that said like hi and stuff to us, like the other ones that were there like earlier in the parking lot. But he starts yelling, and he's not yelling hi, he's not yelling bye, he's like hey, yelling at us like that. So we have to keep on running straight because where he is the only way out, and it's like just bushes and like little trees and like long logs like all over. But we run, and we end up in this person's backyard. So since like we ran through bushes and everything, we can't see where they went, and like we can see my car now. It's like, this is the house that we're at, this is like the line of bushes that we just ran from, this is their like car and like driveway and stuff, and their driveway is like long, it's like this whole area, and then here's like the road, and then the park on the other side of the road, and my car is straight ahead of us. Their cars are like in this parking lot, so we can't see them, but we can see my car. Hopefully that made sense. But there's a dog barking at us from that house, and we're too scared to like go to my car because we don't know where they are, because they could have turned around, they could have kept driving around like the park because it's like a big circle. We didn't want to test it because like we couldn't see anybody like on their side of like where they were, which why would anybody want to go test that out? So we're just sitting in this driveway, and we're kind of like contemplating on what to do, because that's never happened to us. Like, what do we do? And like, do we call the cops? Do we knock on this door? Do we just try to get back to the car? Like, we didn't know what to do. Our first thing that we did want to do though is try to find out where those people went, because like, why would we want to go back to them? But the thing about it is none of us looked back. We didn't see what they were driving or anything. Only the people in that SUV. But this was definitely not the SUV. But no worries, because we think we end up finding those people. Because we're sitting in this driveway, not knowing what to do, and then like a white truck pulls up and stops right in front of that driveway. And it's not like a white like truck like a GMC Sierra or like a Ram, anything like that. Like, it's like a work truck type of thing, but there wasn't any logo or anything on it, so like our guess was that it was those people, because why else would they stop in front of somebody's driveway in the middle of the road? And since there's a car right here, we duck down behind that car. I'm ducking like the front, and my friend, she's ducking like through the window watching them, and I'm just like, put your head down, because like obviously they see us and they're stopping. Put your head down, you don't want them to see you. And I was recording this part, but I think it like deleted, or I didn't save it or something, because it's no longer in my memories or anything. I do have a video of us like walking back, and then like I started recording right after they told us to like come here, so I was like, they just told us to come here, and she's like, yeah, I know. And then it's like us starting to run, and then I also have a video of like something that I'll tell you in a little bit. So if you guys want to see these videos, just tell me. There's a fly in my room and it's really making me mad. I don't know how long that truck stopped there for and like we're hiding. It had to be like at least like 30 seconds to a minute, which doesn't sound like a long time, but like, and it's a long time. And then finally, the owner of the house, it's a man, he comes out and he's like, "Can I help you?" And then as soon as that guy comes out, the truck at the end of the driveway, he drives off. So now he's no longer there. So we kind of look a little bit silly for like acting this way, but it's whatever. We tell him what happens and then he drives us in his truck. We didn't get in a like stranger's truck. We got in the bed of the truck. So we could have escaped. I think that was my sister. But okay. We got in the bed of the truck. So we could have escaped if we had to. But he drove us over to my car and we said thank you, whatever. And then he was like, "Don't be afraid to call the police." We drove. We definitely left the park because we're not staying there. We left. We went to Wendy's, sat in the parking lot for a little bit because we were still waiting for my boyfriend and his friend. And then we went back to go play pickleball. And that's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm glad that I'm not kidnapped. But let me tell you, I am now scared. And I feel like it's kind of silly to be scared because like I didn't actually get kidnapped. And maybe they weren't trying to kidnap me. But you never know. And I'm scared to go on walks and runs. And literally yesterday I was going to go for a run, but I backed out because I got too scared because I thought I was going to get kidnapped. But I'm more scared where I live because I live out of town. So, like, if I was to get kidnapped, like, I'm getting kidnapped. So, if you want to give me a follow, I'm not going to be mad. At least, like, now, like, if I do get kidnapped and you're following me, like, I stop posting, then you know, and you're like, "Oh, I think Victoria got kidnapped," and then I get found. So, you could be literally my hero, but if you don't want to, it's okay. But now I have to finish getting ready, going to work. Hope you enjoyed the story time. Bye.
It's gonna be a story time of how Mustard ended my 5-year relationship and engagement. Yes, I'm talking about like mustard, like the condiment mustard ended my relationship. Let's set the scene. At this particular point in my relationship, my child's father and I hadn't been doing the best. Okay, backstory. When I got pregnant, we signed a lease that ended when my daughter was about 4 months. We moved back into his mom's house for 6 months. And when my daughter was 10 months old, we moved out of his mom's house and back into a new apartment. So when we were at his mom's house, things got really sticky because we kind of felt like we weren't able to be ourselves, express our connection. I wasn't able to cook the way I wanted to cook. There was just things that we couldn't do in our relationship that I just felt if we had our own place again, you know, they wouldn't be a problem. And he kind of agreed. And so when we got this new place, the expectation was just that. It was that, you know, I would start cooking, he would start showing up and being present more often. We would just be able to go back to being who we were in our old apartment. Wrong. Obviously, when we were at his mom's house, we didn't have to pay rent. When we got into this new apartment, it was a 2-bedroom. It was a little bit expensive. He's working a lot. He's a barber, so he was trying his best to, you know, make enough money to where we were able to move into this apartment. At the time, I was not working. It was summertime. I was a substitute teacher, and I didn't have a job. Every day I was in the apartment with my daughter. When he would come home, he would either go straight to like the little game room that we had or straight to the balcony. And yes, like he would greet me, he would say hey to the baby, but that was like the end of the interaction. Every day for a week I was doing things by myself. I filled up the apartment with groceries by myself and a 10-month-old. I put the TV stand together by myself. I unpacked the closet by myself. I felt like things that we could have been doing together or like as a family, I was doing alone. Now looking back on it, maybe it was my responsibility to just do those things by myself. At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. One day when he got home from work, I ended up mentioning like kind of just how I felt about everything that we had going on. I just felt like he wasn't really being present in the house. I was doing a lot of things on my own. And he also felt a type of way. He felt like, you know, when he comes home from work, there should be food on the table. And there wasn't food on the table. That first week, I was kind of just surviving. It felt like I wasn't really cooking. We either went to his mom's house for food every day or we went out. He was telling me like we can't afford things like that. So he's stressing financially. I'm stressing emotionally. At the end of the night, that night, after having that brawl conversation, I ended up in a deep prayer conversation with God. The end of my prayer to him, and I vividly remember this, was that if I am to stay in this relationship, make it blatantly clear. Make it so obvious and clear. But if I am to leave, make it even clearer. That one, just make it so clear for me to know whether or not I'm meant to be in this relationship or I need to leave, period. I kid you not. The next day, same thing happens. I'm in the house all day with my child. He comes home. Hey, walks over to his video game room, shuts the door. Because he had said something the day before about me not cooking, I thought, I'm just gonna make the most extravagant, crazy thing that you've ever thought of. Like, I'm just gonna make something so crazy just for that. So I decided to make turkey burgers. I've never made them before, but I was like, we ball, let's just do it. I make these turkey burgers. My daughter goes over to her grandma's house. We try to enjoy a meal together. I bring him his turkey burgers and some condiments, and I set everything up kind of. I'm eating my food. He's playing the video game, so he's not even eating. And if you're a lady, like, you just kind of like over to make sure like it's good or whatever. And he still hadn't touched nothing. So I'm like sitting there like, dang, like, I just tried my best. There's not even any type of appreciation, I felt like. So why would I cook every day? So finally, he gets off of his game. I already finished eating and everything. I'm sitting there behind him on my phone. He's like, was the mustard good on the sandwich? And I'm like, mm-hmm. He's like, okay, pass me the mustard. So I pass him this bottle of mustard, and he opens it, and he looks at me, and he chuckles, and he's like, the mustard's not open. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, it's not, it's sealed. And I was like, interesting. He was like, why did you just lie to me about mustard? And I was like, well, if I'm being honest, I just thought you weren't going to eat this sandwich. So if putting mustard on the sandwich made you eat the sandwich, then that's why I told you that mustard was going to be good on the sandwich. And he just lost it. He was like, if you could lie to me about something so small like that, then what else are you lying about? Valid, fair point. Valid point. In all of this, I'm trying to plead my case. At some point, he literally went silent and walked out the door. Didn't say a thing about getting my baby. Didn't say a thing about what we were doing for the rest of the night. Like, didn't say anything at all, just left. Left me in my apartment. Left me in my apartment alone, but I did not feel alone. In that moment, God showed up and was like, that's your sign. I guarantee, like, I felt so clear as day that him leaving the house in the heat of the moment right there was my sign that, like, this was not, this one ain't gonna be the one. I was just like, okay, God, I hear you. And that very next day, I texted my family group chat. I have 3 other siblings, and all 3 of them showed up to my door in less than 10 minutes after I texted them and said, I need to get out. We packed all my stuff up, moved me into my mom's house, and I've been here for the past 2 years now. I just find it so ironic that mustard is what did it, but all it takes is faith of a mustard seed. Yeah, so that's my story.
I just woke up, okay? Just woke up. Why did I wake up with heartburn? Why am I having Tums before I've had a bagel and coffee this morning? I hate being an adult. Hi, I need help and I don't know what to do, so I'm coming on TikTok and asking for help here. And so here's what's going on. Basically, I got scammed recently on TikTok, and now I have no money in my bank account. And you might be like, what do you mean no money? And I mean negative $500 something. No money. So basically, there's a GoFundMe in my bio. The rest of the video is basically going to be me talking through what happened, but if you are kind enough to share literally any money, like, it doesn't have to be much at all, like, it can literally be like $5 or 50 cents or whatever, like, as long, I really need some help. So yeah, let me just explain. Basically, last week I received a DM asking if I wanted to, like, partner and do a collab and have, like, I would review their stuff and they would pay me for it. They would pay me $300 per week to review their stuff every day. Here's the thing. If something sounds too good to be true, it is not true. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now just to help anyone else, like, avoid a scam like this. Yeah, so I was like, okay, like, I was hesitant, but then I checked the account and it seemed real. It had existed for a few years, all of that, like, they had posts, they had followers, whatever. I was like, okay. So they send me a form, and I fill it out, and in it, I put my name, I put my email, not a email that I use often. It's like an email that I don't have connected to anything, just in case, my phone number, and my address. Because of shipping, I thought, shipping, my address. So, basically, I end up getting a text, and, they're like, did it work? I was like, yeah, okay. So, we're talking, and so they sent me a check over email, and I deposit it. Stupidly, don't deposit. Checks should be physical. Okay, so I deposit it in my account. It's $1,000. They say, okay, you're gonna send back $700 just for like the price of the product, the shipping, all of that. Like that's just the easiest way to do it. And then you keep the $300 for the initial pay. I was like, what? But I did it, so I'm trying to figure out a way to send the $700 back, but I can't because I'm a minor. My car just started moving. Because I'm a minor, I can't send money, technically. And they were like, well, just lie about your age. I'm like, that's weird. Like, a company would not tell me to do that. So, and anyways, you have to, like, verify your age. So eventually, after, like, hours and hours of me being so anxious, I feel like I could throw up, and them getting upset because, it's not, like, I'm not giving them the money. We come to Cash App. Okay? So I have to have a parent attached to it, but I got my mom to do it, even though she was like, I don't know why you want this. Like, I'm gonna do it, but, like, if there's something going on, then you need to tell me, because otherwise, you just, I'm like, no, it's fine, because I don't want her to know in case, So, anyways, all of this stuff happens, okay, and I give them the $700 back, and they're like, great, now you need to give us the $300 back. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, you need to give us the $300 back so we can send you the next $1,000 check that you actually get to keep this time. I'm like, what? No, like, I know that this is a scam now. I'm like, so I'm freaking out, and I'm like, no, like, I can't do that. I can't, like, if you're gonna make me lose all my money, like, please just don't do that, all of this stuff. Like, I'm pathetic. I'm begging these people that don't care. And at this point, I have a second number messaging me because, like, I'm not giving them their money back, and they're starting to get agitated, and then they start threatening to kill me. I'm like, what the fuck? They have my address. How am I supposed to know that they won't, And so I'm, like, freaking out, and then I'm like, okay, can I deal with this in the morning, please? They're like, okay, whatever, as long as you actually do it. Because now, Cash App isn't letting me send any more money. They locked my account. They locked my bank account just because, it seemed, like, scammy. And it was a scam. And, okay, so, whatever, like, the next day, I'm trying to figure it out. I can't figure it out. So, I call the police because they're threatening to kill me. And, oh my god, I hope this video doesn't get taken down because I said that. Okay. So, then I call the police. They're like, okay, well, they're not gonna kill you. They're not gonna find you. Like, it's just what scammers say. It seems like you do owe them the money, though, whatever, blah, 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 so you might want to give that back to them. Okay, great. So I can't give the money back to them still, so I end up just blocking them. Because that's what the person tells me to do. They're like, okay, we'll just block them. They can't get you. I'm like, okay, great. Okay, so I think that we're all good now, right? The next, and I know that sounds fucked up, but they told me I could keep the $300, so technically that means I can keep the $300, right? And anyways, if they're threatening to kill me and doing all of this illegal stuff, then, like, they're not gonna contact the police over it. I don't know, like, I don't know what I was thinking. But then the next day I'm, going shopping with my mom for senior pictures. Yay! Like, she took me over 2 hours away from where we live so that we could go to a mall because it had the stores that I wanted. And so, we go there and we get there and I'm in the car and all of a sudden I get a message and it's pictures of, like, mutilated corpses. And, like, many of them, like, it's graphic, it is terrible. And the person's like, who do you think you are? Like, you need to give her money back. Otherwise, like, you're dead. Okay, so now I'm, like, freaking out because now I'm actually being, like, threatened with proof that it's gonna happen. So, like, I find a way to send them $100. Okay, I do it. And that's what they were asking. They were asking for $100, not $300. And then all of a sudden, he's like, no, send me the rest of the money. You think I'm fucking stupid? You need to send me all of the money, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're swearing, threatening, all of this terrible stuff. And then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, wait, I can help you.
I'm like, what? And he says, okay, just keep the money and don't reply to any texts. Block me, block the other person, delete all of that. Like, don't reply to anyone else who texts you. I'm like, okay. So one person texted me after that, and it was someone claiming to be a lawyer. Are you kidding me? I'm not that stupid. And now I'm talking about it, it does seem like I would be stupid, right? Like, for falling for that. But, I don't even know. So, yeah, anyways, yesterday, the check didn't go through. Like, something happened where then it took the $1,000 out of my account because I spent money by giving it to them. Okay, so now I'm negative 500 something in the bank, and they tell me there's nothing they can do about it because it's my responsibility to get that money back. I'm like, okay. They're like, you have 45 days technically. 45 days. I am in high school. I am working as much as I can. Even then, I barely get paid I don't get paid more than $100 something per paycheck, and that's every 2 weeks. So I don't know what to do. So I'm coming on TikTok and asking, if you're kind enough or able to in any way, just donate any money you can. Please, I'm begging you, because I don't know what to do, and I'm scared, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up everywhere, and I don't know what to do. So yeah, the thing is in my bio. Yeah. So there it is.
I am a victim of a hate crime.
That's not what a hate crime is.
Well, I hated it a lot.
Story time and how I got into it with my ex-best friend at the carnival. If y'all know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. I had posted it on my TikTok maybe 2 days ago because, bitch, y'all got me fucked up. So let's get into it and say the real motherfucking truth, because y'all know how I am with story times. I'm always gonna be real. I'm always gonna say the truth. So let's get into it because I got a lot of shit I want to say. Okay, so obviously I went to the carnival with my best friend. Originally I wasn't supposed to go with her, but I had went with my sister and my nephews and stuff and my nieces. And so I had posted on my spam story, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be at the carnival or whatever. And then my best friend, she has stuff, she's like, oh, I'm gonna be there too with my cousins and my cousins' friends or whatever, let's all connect and be there together. I'm like, okay, period, that's perfect. And I don't really talk to her cousins or the cousins' friends or who we were with, but I knew about them and I know that they're cool. So I'm like, okay, bet, I'm down. And so I was waiting in line for tickets with my sister to get the tickets to go on rides and stuff. And so maybe about 20 or 30 minutes later after I arrived there, my best friend, one of my best friends, she has comes up to me and she's like, oh, we're gonna go to breakup because it starts getting more better when it's at night. I'm like, okay, cool. So I went to go on rides with my nephews and stuff, and an hour later they had met up with me again. They had seen me and they went up to me and they were like, oh, let's go on rides. So I went with them, we went on rides. But before we went on rides, my best friend, she had told me, she was like, oh, also I just seen your ex-best friend, and as we were walking and shit, she was giving us dirty looks. I'm like, the fuck, why is she giving out dirty looks before? Because my other best friend, she told me the same thing too, a couple months ago, or I don't know, I forgot, maybe 3 months ago or 2. She was like, oh, I seen her one time and then she was giving me dirty looks. So she's like, okay, bitch, this is not the first time I heard it from just one person, but a different person. You got me fucked up. So when I see her, I was like, I'm gonna give her a dirty look back, because why are you giving dirty looks at my friend? You're weird. And so whatever, I forgot about it. We went on rides, we were having fun. And so an hour later, bro, tell me why, it was already getting kind of crowded and shit, and it was dark, and we were by the Ferris wheel, right? And bro, we were walking, bro, tell me why I see my ex-best friend in front of me, and since it's crowded, I seen her for 1 second, and then somebody got in the way from me. But within that 1 second, I turned to my best friend, and I'm like, bro, she's right in front of us. She's like, who? I'm like, she's right in front of us. I guess we kind of looked or whatever, but I don't even know if she saw me look at her or look to the side of my best friend to say some shit, because like I said, it was crowded, somebody got in the way like that, bro. So as we were fucking walking still, all we heard is the fuck or fuck, and bro, we all turned around and it was the fucking group she was with. So I was like, what the fuck? Okay, baby, you started something, so what's up? And so we're kind of arguing from a distance and shit, and everybody's looking at us, and then
her cousin, she was like signaling us to like come over here. She was literally going like this with her, and she was like, come here and shit. I'm like, no, girl, you could come up to here, because if you want us to come up to you so badly, you could come up yourself and say some shit. Like, you know, you don't have to go like all this, like just come up. And so since we're like all saying shit from a fucking distance, we didn't even know, but my ex-best friend's cousin's mom was right next to us, and she was like, oh, like, I don't want my daughter to get into it with you, like, it's between you and your ex-best friend. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but if she's gonna interfere with it, then I'm also gonna get into it with her, because bitch, the fuck? That's what I'm like thinking in my head, you know? And so this other guy, I'm guessing it's their guy cousin, or I don't know who the fuck it was, but he went to go talk to them first, and then he went to talk to us. And he was like, aren't y'all 19 or something? Aren't y'all 19? I'm like, girl, like, where are we 19, baby? Where, like, you're getting some information from, like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what they're telling you, but bitch, we are not 19. No, we're fucking near there yet. Well, kind of. But, like, it's just like, either way, if I was 19, why the fuck would I beef with a fucking 17-year-old? You know, that it sounds stupid. And so we were just like, you know what, fuck that shit. Like, I'm like, we're done. Like, let's just go. But I was still mad about it. I was like, nah, fuck that shit. I want to spin back. But we were like, oh, like, let's just see how I feel about it later on. And if I'm still mad about it, then we'll spin back. And we're still talking about it, because, bitch, like, what the fuck are y'all on? Like, y'all are fucking goofies at this point. Because, mind y'all, like, they literally started it first. So it's just like, bro, what? And so whatever. We went on a different ride. We went a completely different direction from where we were. We went on our rides, and afterwards, I'm like, you know what? Let's spin back. I'm mad as fuck. So I was putting my hair up and stuff, right? And so, bro, as we're walking, bro, tell me why they meet up with us in the middle, literally the perfect fucking timing. And so I was like squinting my eyes. I'm like, wait, is that them? And they were like, yeah, that's them. And so, you know, shit happened from there. And so my ex-best friend, like, she was like, oh, Violet, can I talk to you respectfully? Like, she was like pulling me off to the side a little bit. I'm like, bro, I'm like thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, y'all better be ready to like do some shit, because I don't trust this bitch. Like, I was like thinking in my mind, bro, she's probably gonna jump me right now. But, you know, my hair was up and everything, so I was ready just in case. And so I was like, what, bro? And she's like, I don't know why you're posting about me on TikTok. I'm like, bitch, ain't nobody posting about you on TikTok. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, everybody's talking about it. Everyone's telling me. And I'm like, oh, she's talking about the slideshow I had made a couple days ago. If y'all know what I'm talking about, it was basically the fucking slideshow video I had made from freshman year to junior year. But I didn't find that bad, because it's like, I'm not talking shit about you. I'm not name dropping. I'm not doing nothing, like, nothing bad. I'm just saying, like, that I'm no longer friends with people who cross my boundaries. And I'm gonna just say it. She was the one in the fucking, the photo. That's who I'm talking about right now. And also, I did make a story time video about her maybe like almost a year ago. It was a video where I had like tiger makeup on, and like, it has more context there. So if y'all like want to know more about it and shit, you could just scroll down to my page, and if you see me with the tiger makeup, then that's the story about her too. And so I was arguing with her. I'm like, nah, you a weird ass bitch, bro. Like, literally, you set me up in a fight. You went to go be best friends with the girl that I literally fought. And mind you, you used to talk shit about her with me. So it's just like, bitch, what? And also, like, I told you about the shit that she did to me, and you proceeded to be besties with her. You still proceeded to be all up in her fucking comments, hyping her up and shit while we were friends. And mind you, I told you about the shit that she did, and that's why I don't like her. But that story time is gonna be for another day. Like, the whole fight and how my ex-best friend set me up and shit. That's a whole different thing. But that's some context of what the fuck she did. So I was just basically like going at her, telling her all the shit that she did to me, bro. I was just calling her weird ass bitch. I was just, you know, just cursing and like, you know, I don't know, bro. I was just mad. I can't really remember everything I said, because I'm telling you, adrenaline just got the best of me, bro. I was so mad. And so basically she was like, oh, like, you didn't even dance with me at my 16. Like, how am I going to ask you out on homecoming and you don't even dance with me? Mind you, the day of homecoming, she literally went to go dance with the girl I had fought, basically my op. And so I'm just like, how the fuck am I supposed to dance with you if you were with her? And you're 16, bro? How the fuck am I supposed to dance with you if your program was still, like, going on and on? Mind you, I had left at 10, and this girl was still doing her surprise dance, and I literally left because I couldn't find her, so I just kind of, like, left without saying goodbye and stuff because I had to go, bro. And around that time, I wasn't, like, on good terms with my parents, so that's why I had left early. But it's just, like, how do you expect me to dance with you if you still had shit going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, or, like, if it makes sense to y'all, but yeah. And what really got me mad is she was like, oh, like, how are you gonna cut me off? But you were with a boy who kept disrespecting you, and you never cut him off. But with me, you cut him off. And I'm like, hold up, baby. Do not bring what, like, I had with my ex into this, because, bitch, he wasn't the one who never set me up in a fight. He never fucking talked shit about people and then went to go be besties with them. He never talked shit about somebody and then
you know, with me and then go be best friends with him. He's never done that, like, half the shit that you did. So it's just like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, this is between me and you know, it's not between me, you, and him. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, don't bring him into this, because I feel like when it comes to friends, bro, like, friends, like, that's supposed to be your, like, ride or dies, you know. Boys, like, they come and go and shit. So I feel like it's really fucking different when it comes to friends and they disrespect or, like, cross my boundaries. Because, like, if you're my friend and you do some, like, disrespectful ass shit to me, bitch, you're getting cut the fuck up. That's forever how I'm moving. And either way, bitch, she doesn't know, but I've been planning to cut her off. Even before her 16, bro, I always told my ex, I was like, bro, like, I want to cut her off because of the shit, like, she would pull and shit. And, like, I even told him about it before. And so he was like, yeah, you should. But I was like, no, I'm going to wait because I want to be her 16 and stuff. Because she was at my 15 and she was there for my planning. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just stay being friends with them for, like, a little bit. And I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh, why'd you stay being friends with her if you've been peeping weird shit, if you were planning to cut her off? And the only reason why I didn't is because I didn't want to be lonely. I'm going to be blunt and I'm going to be honest. I didn't want to be lonely my sophomore and, like, somewhat of my junior year, because those were the only friends that I really had at the time. So I'm like, bro, if I cut them off right now, then, like, I don't know. And also, I just wanted to be there for her fucking 16 just the way that she was there for my 15 during my planning, you know? So it was like, okay, like, one more year, and if other shit happens, and I'm gonna cut them off for good, which happened. And she can call me weird because she doesn't know this, but I literally got into it with my parents around her quinta time, because we were supposed to go to Texas, like, literally, like, the day of her 16, but I literally got into it with my parents to switch the dates. I literally got into a whole argument and shit just so I could be there at her 16. Like, she don't even know half the shit for real that, like, I've done for her, like, in private, you know? And either way, I was with her the whole day. I literally did her makeup for her 16. I was there for her photos. I went on her party bus. You know, I was with her, like, majority of the day. So it's just like, you can't really call me fake when I've done shit for you, you know, too. Like, literally, I feel like when it comes to relationships versus friendships, like, that's a whole different thing for me, you know, because, I don't know, for friendships, I take it really serious because everybody knows I'm really fucking picky about who I choose friends with. Like I said, boys come and go, but if you're my friend, you do some weird shit to me, I'm gonna take it personal, because what the fuck, you're supposed to be my friends. Friends are supposed to be friends for, like, a long ass time, you know? So I feel like it's kind of different. I don't know if y'all know what I'm trying to say, but if you do, then you get it and you understand. Okay, I was getting off track there, but basically, you know, we're still arguing. Like, she was saying her shit, I was saying my shit, and so her cousin fucking butted in. She was like, oh, you're posting about her on TikTok, you were at the family gatherings. She was fucking pointing her fucking finger in my face, and so my group of friends were like, nah, bitch, back the fuck up. And they were also arguing with her too, because, bitch, fuck is you pointing your finger in my face? If you want to get active, then just do it. You know, I was already ready. I had my hair up and everything, so, bitch, let's get into it if you really want to fucking do something. And it just got me mad as fuck when she said the family gatherings part, because it's like, okay, bitch, so what, bitch? I'm not gonna be there no more. What the fuck does this have to do with the situation that you guys are talking about, you know? Because you're so mad over a TikTok, but it's just like, bitch, if you were a real ass bitch, like I said, then you could have DM'd me, like, one-on-one and say how the fuck you really felt about it, you know? You didn't have to make, like, a big ass scene because of that. Like, why'd you do that shit in person? You could have just done that shit privately if you were so mad about it. Mind you, the video wasn't even bad. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck if y'all find her at or whatever. I'm not gonna say what her at is, or, like, my ex-best friend's at. But if you do, like I said before, like, everybody, like, in Chicago knows everybody, and everybody be putting the pieces together. So if you figure out who it is, then, like I said, it is what it is. And I already said who it is, but because I don't give a fuck no more. Like, I'm at my breaking point, bro. And I know some people are gonna be like, oh, you're posting this shit on the net, like, you're bringing this shit to the net. And it's like, yes, bitch, because, bitch, if you want to bring it like that in person, I'm gonna make it worse. That's one thing about me, bitch. I don't give a fuck. And also, I thought it was just some good content. So I was just like, okay. And I be telling y'all everything, so it's just like, I don't give a fuck. I really don't, like, bro, y'all know I don't give a fuck. I'm always gonna keep it real. But basically, yeah, everybody was arguing with each other, and they were kind of walking away, and they were like, oh, look, they're walking away, or they're walking away. Bro, if I post the whole video, bro, y'all, like, will see, like, some context of it in the last video I had posted recently. But yeah, and then some lady in the back was like, oh, like, the police is coming. Or she said some shit about the police in Spanish, and they just kind of, like, left and shit, but I was still mad as fuck because, bro, I really wanted to get into it with them or whatever. Because, bitch, I'm, like, at this point, bitch, I want to fight you at this point. I don't care. Like, and I literally said, like, I was like, if you want to shut me the fuck up, then come run the van. And, like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to just keep it real because whatever. But, yeah, basically, my group was arguing with the cousins and shit. Like, they were telling her to back up and shit. Like,
I don't know, this shit got me fucked up as fuck because, I don't know, just like the shit that they were bringing up, I don't know. And for me, like, her definition of weird, like, my ex-best friend's, like, definition of weird is just, like, not matching the mindset that I'm on. Like, I find you weird because you do some, like, two-faced ass shit, but with me, like, I feel like the things that she got mad about, it could have been fixed or talked about, you get me? But yeah, that's basically the story time and everything that happened. I don't give a fuck. I already know people are gonna fucking send this to her. Like, there was already some people in my views on my Instagram story when I have posted about it. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, y'all know I don't give a fuck. But basically, that's everything that happened. She's still a weird ass bitch. I don't care. Like I said, if she wants to like shut me up, then she could do something about it on her own. But besides that, that's everything that happened. So maybe, I don't know if I'm leaving like other things out because I'm telling y'all that my adrenaline was like bursting through my fucking blood. But if the girls I was with like have more context, then bitch, I already know they're probably gonna comment. But yeah, basically that's everything that happened at the carnival. So yeah. And also shout out to Lupe's cousins and the girls that we were with. Like, literally, like, they raised my standards, bro. Like, I barely knew them or like talked to them for like within a couple hours, and they still had my back. Like, that literally like brought up my standard because bitch, I was friends with my ex-friends for so long, and they would never do the half the shit that they did for them. For me, I mean. So shout out to them hands down because I literally love them for that because like I said, I barely knew them for like a couple hours, and like they still had my fucking back. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like that literally just raised like my standards for like friendships and shit. So shout out to them.